You know, I'm kinda happy that I get to make this video. It's been quite some time since I've genuinely had to sit down and talk about Halo. I genuinely miss it. And on top of that, we also get to talk about a very special fanboy that believes he knows better than everyone else. As we all know, that creature is called Reforge Gaming, because he believes he knows something, but he doesn't. Also, I should mention this, a lot of PlayStation fanboys on Twitter are mentioning how they want Halo to come to PlayStation. I'm personally fine with that. I believe everyone should get the right to play these games. I believe limiting these games to a console or a certain amount of consoles isn't really fair on those who choose to buy other platforms. Exclusivity is a thing of the past, but for some reason, these Twitter fanboys that said that they never liked Halo and Halo doesn't deserve anything and Halo's a dead franchise for some reason now want it. Here's an example from Unleashed, saying that nobody cares about Halo. And then he turns around and makes this tweet saying Halo is back but on PlayStation. If nobody cares about Halo, why do you want it on PlayStation? Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. More people should be able to play this game. But it's very strange that someone like you that said repeatedly over and over again, nobody cares about a dead franchise like Halo, nobody likes it, then you do a partial beg for it. I know this isn't the most devious example that I could use, but I thought I would just show it in the video. I know we're meant to be covering Reforge. Little side note, please bring Halo 5 to PC. I want to play some good PvP on that one again. I really enjoyed its PvP. Story sucked. We can all agree on that. Anyway, on to Reforge.
Listen, I'm going to say the thing that the Halo guys, they hate this every time I say this, but Unreal 5 is the perfect time to make Halo feel like a different game. Like, honor the past, but it's time to stop making another... Don't just make another Halo.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, like you want a game that feels like Halo but has a very different sense to it. I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't think you're gonna get to it in an actual smart, interesting way of trying to word it. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. Most people don't want something different. They want Halo to be good again. That's what everyone wants. If you don't realize that, you're a bit insane. But whether or not that's them changing the entire game, or just refining the formula that already exists, it really depends. But for the most part, most Halo players just want a refined, better version of what we got in Halo Infinite. Very good gunplay. Also, remove all the microtransactions. Nobody likes them, nobody wants them. Everything you offer in the Halo store is absolute garbage.
I swear, if the next Halo looks, smells like, feels like Halo, and the weapons are the same, and the enemies are the same, I don't care. I don't. It's time for the reboot. It's time for the soft reboot. I think you need to do it.
But wasn't Halo Infinite meant to be the soft reboot for the franchise? Not many people liked Halo 4 and 5, a lot more people liked 4 than 5. Personally, I think 4's gunplay was terrible, but 5's had absolute peak gunplay. That shit just felt terrible on controller, but anyway, that's besides the point. And if you think removing all of the weapons that make the game Halo and all the stuff that makes Halo, why even bother calling it Halo at that point? Because you need those things to make a Halo game. Of course you can have a similar art style, you can still have the characters, but for the most part, you need the weapons that make Halo Halo. Removing weapons, armor, art style, and all that stuff, you don't need to call it Halo at that point. It's just an entirely new game. Why even bother?
UE5's the best time to do it. You know what they can do? They can kind of do what Assassin's Creed did. They can hand the Combat Evolved remaster or remake or whatever you want to call it, they can hand that to the fans and say, hey, we love ya. We appreciate ya. But this is what you get. Because we got to get more people in this franchise.
So you think putting a yearly slop franchise out like Assassin's Creed or converting it into that will make the games better and more people into it? If you just make a good game, people will come to it. Look at Space Marine 2, look at Black Myth. You just make a good game, and people will show up and play it. You don't need to make a yearly slop series to make this work. And that's the Ubisoft technique, because the only thing they've ever made good or unique was in the past, or just playing for honor. Like, if you're trying to say that it needs to be more casual for people to get in, the original Halos were incredibly casual. They valued fun over being competitive. Competitive was just a side option. Do you see the issue? Halo was already made to be a fun and engaging thing for everyone. The PvP wasn't hard, pretty much anyone could get in, but as time came over and 343 took over, it became more and more competitive. So clearly, you don't know what you're talking about.
And the way to get more people in this franchise is not just another Halo. I know you longtime Halo fans you're already typing. You're like, you can't do that. It won't be Halo. They tried that with Halo 5. No, they didn't. Like Walter White says in Breaking Bad, no more half measures. No more half measures. It is time to do what they did with Doom. Go play Doom 2016. That's the level of change you need. You need to honor where you've come from so that you know, yeah, this is another Doom, but it needs to feel and look completely differently. It can't be just another Halo.
Reforge, are you stupid? Okay, I'm gonna say a really hot take about Doom. I've only ever played a little bit of Doom 2016 and a very little amount of Doom the original and Doom Eternal. But pretty much all those games, at least when it comes to Doom, pretty much all feel the same. They're all fast-paced, you all have the shoot stuff and rotate around an arena. They all feel relatively samey, as it's all fast-paced, you run around an arena and you shoot a bunch of demons, but each game adds new stuff, more things, but keeps the personality of what was already there. I understand what you're saying, right, Reforge, but they don't need to do this total rewrite of Halo. Everything's already there that worked. Halo Infinite's gunplay, and stuff like the grapple hook and all these small things that they added within Infinite feel right. They don't feel out of place. They feel like they could work and add to the gameplay and the movement system of Halo Infinite, just like how they did with Doom Eternal's parkour. It doesn't feel out of place. It makes the already existing product better.
If you've got the same hardcore Halo fans and the same hardcore Halo pros jumping and using the sniper rifles and using the same weapons and the maps and the enemies, and it all feels the same, it's like, yeah, that'll be as dead as a doornail. No one will care.
Bro, you cannot be this stupid. Who are the people that are keeping these games alive? Existing fans who enjoy the games. Of course, there can be some new people that come in and be like, hey look, I like this game, I want to go play the originals, but that's not all of them, right? The fans who made Halo will stay with it because they love the franchise. Getting new people won't make these games better. Having fans that have experienced what old games and new games can provide can tell you exactly what they want from this series, the franchise, and what they want to see added. You can't be this stupid, genuinely. Do you think replacing already existing players that would love to stick with the franchise as long as possible, as long as it's good and doesn't alienate them, will fix any issues with the game? No, they're the ones that will help fix the issues alongside with competent developers. 343 isn't really competent, I don't care if they rename their studio. I mean, then again, they did get new leadership, so maybe, just maybe, they could do something good.
They won't. There is something special about Halo, but you can't say that it's aged well, because it hasn't aged well. Every time I've talked about this or made a video about this, the Halo guys come after me, and it's like, okay, fine. If they give you what you want, you'll drag the franchise into the bottom of the ocean, squeezing the life out of it, saying, oh, I love Halo, it feels like Halo, while it just dies a slow death and nobody pays any attention to it.
I think the Halo games have aged pretty well. Maybe not graphically, but then again, they did have a relatively standout type of art style when it comes to the first 3 games. But I do believe the best aspects of the Halo games have aged pretty well, like their gunplay. The games still feel really good to play over and over again. Even for games of their age, they do feel good both on mouse and keyboard, and controller. So if we use what Reforge has said as Halo's special thing being the gameplay or any other aspect of it, I do believe arguably it's all aged well, and saying that if the community keeps getting that special thing, the game will die, or the game and franchise won't be as popular. If you just give us a good game, it will be popular. Look at Space Marine 2. You make a good game, people will show up and play it. It's not that hard. You make a Halo game with every feature available, and good gameplay, and a good story, Forge and everything, people will stay and play the game. Why do you think people still play Halo 3, Halo Reach custom games all the time? They're fun. It's community-made content that prolongs and gives the game longevity. You don't need to make content when your community is making the content. Simple. Maybe that's the secret Reforge is on about, the community of Halo, because everything goes back to the community. You don't have a game that everyone remembers without the Halo community. Maybe he wants to see the community gone to see some filthy casuals get in. Ew. Don't do that, Reforge. You know, I'll just appreciate it if you stop talking about Halo. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. You don't enjoy the games, like us real men do. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. I kinda cringe saying that, but you get the point. Just stop talking. You don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody that likes Halo has decided that they like Halo. Everybody that doesn't like Halo has decided they don't like Halo. Just another Halo wouldn't achieve anything. It'd be like, okay.
Wow, Reforge, people that like Halo. People that don't like Halo don't like Halo. Wow, what a great observation, Reforge. You're really the man that should be speaking on behalf of gamers. Oh my god, I cringed. Ew, gamers. Yeah, you can't spell gamers without gay, can't you? Ugh.
It was a cool new story. It was a pretty memorable story, but the minute you get into the PvP, and the minute or again, the weapons and the enemies, like if it all feels exactly the same, it's like, why'd you even bother doing this? Change the weapons? Change everything.
I personally don't think removing already existing enemy types from Halo will make the game better. They're very much a part of the sandbox and how they react to the sandbox depending on the Halo game. You could either innovate upon them, give them a bit more to do, or add whole new enemy varieties on there so you have a bunch of different varieties when it comes to encounters in the game. That would be a really good way to actually make the game better. But you don't recommend that. You think removing everything and rebuilding it from the ground up.
Change everything. I want you to look at how Doom took every weapon from the original and then evolved it and upped it and said, this is the new interpretation of that. That's what you need to do. Take the AR, for an example. The whatever they call it, the assault rifle, the thing that shoots full auto. I don't even know what the names of a lot of the weapons are.
It really does inspire confidence when you can't say any of the names. I'm being sarcastic. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Oh wait, I've mentioned that already multiple times.
Because I'm not a Halo guy. All I know is the co-op campaigns were fun. I played through, I think, 1, 2, and a couple others with like my siblings. But I was never a big Halo guy. I just thought the campaigns were fun because you could play them with another person. We also loved playing Time Splitters co-op. We just liked co-op shooters. It's why I fell in love with Borderlands, right? You take those weapons, you take your battle rifle, and you say, how can we make this so much more and so much more modern and better than what it's been? But when you hold it and you look at it, you can sense what we've done.
Why bother changing it when it's not broken? If people like how the battle rifle feels, why would you need to change it? You could just improve how the gameplay feels, of course, the overall game itself, make it a more smooth, more consistent experience with a really good feel of a punch of a gun. That would be really good. Something similar to like Halo 5 or Infinite, they share relatively similar gunplay. They both feel incredibly good. The guns feel pretty good in them as well. Why change what isn't broken? Like, you don't need to change the guns, you can just do some really small changes around the gameplay loop itself. The movement system, clamber system, all these things could make your game feel a lot different from a previous game in the franchise. Like, if you look at Halo 4 to Halo 5, to me, they feel very different. One was terrible on controller, the other one actually felt great.
When you hold and you use weapons in Doom, you know what they've done. You're like, yeah, I know what this is. This is tethered to the past.
Are you crazy, Reforge? When I look at the battle rifle, I know that was in the previous game, and it was strong, and it felt good to use. When I look at the Magnum from Halo 1, I know it felt good, it was incredibly overpowered, and it was strong. Like, your logic doesn't make any sense. If you look at any gun from previous Halo games that have appeared in the newer Halo games, they're all the same guns. They all feel the same, they all serve the same purpose for the most part, depending on how they've been balanced, but pretty much all the guns are the same. You can see the history of the guns right in front of you. You can see how they're designed, how they work may have changed. I don't get your logic, I really don't. Your brain just confuses me. You think you're smart, but you're not.
But it's not bound to it. I've always talked about the difference there. It's like, it's one thing to tether your game to the past, to nostalgically build on that. It's another thing to like bind your game to the past. It's like, no, it's got to look and feel like Halo. I mean, if you do that, you might as well not even bother making the game. because you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to appeal to the same hardcore audience, and everybody else can turn their nose up to it.
Oh, so PlayStation needs to make a whole new type of game instead of, appealing to the people that like God of War, Horizon, Killzone, all those other franchises that they own, people that actually like them and that want to play them. Why would you want to make something different? I'm not going to play Gears of War if it isn't Gears of War. I'm not going to play Halo if it isn't Halo. I'm not going to play Minecraft if it's not Minecraft. Well, it actually does depend. If you can make a better game than Minecraft, I'll probably play it. Like, you go to those games for a certain reason, and your little teeny-weeny Jimmy Neutron brain won't fucking let you figure that out. Why? Why do you suck at this? Well, that's the end of this video. I'm gonna leave it here. I should also let you know I'm going to be streaming on Friday. That's Thursday for you Americans. My first stream. Hopefully it doesn't go too bad and I got everything set up correctly, but pretty much, yeah. Thought I would let you know that. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Nothing too special to end this up with. I think you pretty much understand that Reforge is a bit of an idiot. So, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow on the stream. So, until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great day.